Hey guys, I would like to talk to you real quick about overcoming obstacles and personal sacrifice. And I have been working on a way to exit the rat race for, I don't know, 12 years. And I definitely have come close in that time period before this, the end of 2018. I actually was making um, low four figures a week promoting affiliate products and a few different business opportunities in like 2010 and lost channels. So, which is where I was getting all the traffic. And then my income went to zero overnight. And I kind of ultimately decided I just didn't even like what I was promoting. Um, and so I stopped doing everything altogether and I just kind of shelved it and basically came out to Colorado. I was in Raleigh at the time and just started um, being like a delivery driver and thought I was making decent money, but just on a kind of on a hamster wheel and then just blowing the extra money on stupid shit when I was not working 60 hours a week or sleeping, essentially just not really living a productive lifestyle, and got in, had a DUI of blue point oh 0.09. It wasn't like any, I didn't damage any property. I just got pulled over with, barely over the limit. Obviously it wasn't, I'm not saying I shouldn't have been pulled over or anything should have happened, but that's what happened. And got back into, trying to create income streams on the internet in 2015, but got more serious about it in 2016 into 17, really particularly 2017. And I just, when I got back into it, I was not making low four figures a week, which is what I was making when I basically stopped, or at least when I stopped putting energy into it. And it was a challenge for me to get, to make again anything more than like $50 a month, which is what I was maybe making 50 to 200 a month from 2006 up till 2010. And then that's when I got to low four figures a week, when I kind of figured some stuff using YouTube traffic. And but when I got back into it after I got a DUI and lost my license and had the end of a rocky relationship come down as well, I just decided that, I was looking for answers outside of myself, trying to, work too much to make money to get ahead, which doesn't work. And ultimately started, just basically following things that I'd learned about keyword, selection and research and SEO to get videos on the first page of Google for product reviews, advertising service reviews, make money online products, business opportunities. And what I was doing was telling people what was not worth their time and what was. And it was bringing traffic in, but at extremely slow pace. And, in the face of not seeing very many results, but knowing that if I just kept putting up videos and giving people honest information, that eventually there would be a tipping point. And I was lucky enough to have gone through the whole experience from 2006 to 2010 and 11 when I stopped ultimately, that I knew some principles about marketing and getting targeted traffic, and that even though the results were really slow, that I was still getting results. And so I figured that I just had to just keep doing work, maybe not every day, but week in, week out, uploading videos. And I ended up answering questions on a site called Quora.com, which I do highly recommend if you're looking for traffic for all types of, sales, marketing, whatever you're promoting on the internet. Quora.com is a pretty good place. There are all kinds of different categories, and you're just answering questions that other people ask. So it's a little easier than blogging per se, but kind of in the face of just, very slow results or what a lot of people would consider failure, I kept promoting a very reputable advertising marketplace so other home-based business owners could come in and get traffic they needed from people with large lists. And it's all tracked and filtered to make sure that the traffic is legitimate. And I've made sure that it's a safe place, legitimate place to buy traffic. So I was basically focusing on just slowly ticking up regular buyers. You get lifetime coded buyers, and then about 3% of these buyers are what I would consider like more heavy, substantial buyers that buy literally 10, 20, 30 times more than the other 97% of people that are buying. So basically, what I just decided to do is keep slowly driving traffic the way I had been and just keep doing what I was doing. And I reached a tipping point in 2018 when my income essentially tripled in May 2018 from April. And it didn't maintain that level, but it certainly was on a trajectory and rising after that point to a far more substantial monthly income that I had ever had before for the first half of 2018. And so I kind of decided that what's the point in sitting in Boulder, Colorado without a license, without a vehicle? Granted, I would soon not have to be working, but all my income essentially, or the vast majority of it would be going to rent to live in Boulder, Colorado, which is not a cheap place to live. And I decided that, one thing I've learned about life is that when you are slamming your head against a wall and you're probably headed in the right direction, but you can't seem to break through to get to a certain, next level that you're trying to get to on a project or a life goal or a plan that you have, is you need to make sacrifices to overcome obstacles. The point of this video, that in my life, that when things have gotten in my way, I found that if I do more and I guess consume less, make sacrifices in certain areas of my life, that will get me much more likelihood of getting the things that I want. So I decided to, after falling in love with van life and realizing there's no point in sitting in Boulder, Colorado, even though I'm not, having to work because of an online income. I mean, I'm just sitting in one place, not doing anything. Fell in love with van life and decided that I was also actually putting money into my business. So even though I was making more money, I was reinvesting a fair amount of it in certain areas, because I also understood that to get to the next level, you have to reinvest in yourself. If you're doing something that's outside of the box, that's you're trying to grow in a certain area, you have to believe in yourself on a certain level and invest in yourself to get to the next levels. So I was investing a lot of this money back into my business. So it's not like there was tons of extra money on the side. And I realized that saving money in Boulder, Colorado, doing, making $15, $17, $20 an hour, if you want to live and spend any other money other than on rent and food, is not an easy thing to do. So in the end of June, I passed up an opportunity to take a new room because I was ending a lease for 2 years that I had been in a particular apartment in Boulder, Colorado, and it was ending at the end of June. So instead of signing a new lease, I put all my stuff in storage and I bought a hammock. And luckily at the time, I was intending to spend most nights in a hammock. I had some friends down in Denver, but most of the work I was doing was in the Boulder area, and I didn't want to be commuting back and forth. Don't really even like Denver that much. So besides laying in a hammock some nights, which I found was an amazing, something I enjoy almost more than anything else actually in life, is swinging by in a hammock by a creek. And that's how I spent many nights the summer of 2018 when I was trying to save for the van to move into as soon as possible to build out and then be able to essentially be as free to do whatever I want. Because I have a vehicle, a license, and then an online income. So I put all my stuff in storage and started spending a couple nights a week on a couch of this couple in the same building as me, just on the first floor. I moved out to the third floor, and they graciously allowed me to stay on their couch. And 2 or 3 nights a week, I stayed there, and the rest of the nights of the week, I slept in a hammock. And slowly but surely, I was able to save money. I had to pay $1,500 to get my license back first, so that wasn't simple or cheap. And then I had to spend the next few months after, like August, the middle of August, saving for a vehicle, for a van that I eventually got on December 10th. And September was one of the worst months I've had for this type of work I've been doing off the gig section in Craigslist. So I got a job building snowshoes at a factory literally across the street from where I was staying in Boulder, Colorado. But a couple weeks in, because of complications they had with their manufacturing in China, they were losing money due to a defect that had occurred with a product, and they wanted to lay me off. And so, not only did I sacrifice comfort and a place to live to basically put me into a van, and then at that point can do whatever I want once I have a vehicle and an income. So I'm struggling a little bit to make enough money to save for this van, believe it or not. And then they're going to lay me off when I finally find a job in the middle of October for the last 2 months that I need to finish saving for this van. And they luckily did not lay me off, but they started shaving down hours. And my response to that was, I'm going to start drinking basically half as much as I was drinking before. Sure, some people will say, well, why not quit drinking altogether? You have a great point, but not today. And so I immediately just cut my drinking in half. It probably actually went down more like 60 or 70%. And I literally also cut my food bills, my expenditures on food down by like 30 or 40%. So, in the face of adversity, I'm always willing to sacrifice something that it makes my life easier or more enjoyable to get the things that I want. And it's a very useful tool that I feel like works pretty effectively if you are actually somewhat, strict about it and follow that decision to remove an expense or an activity from your life to save money. So I firmly believe in it. And, manifesting is also a huge kind of like interlaced part of all this. And I highly believe in it, but I don't believe in the secret per se. And I'll go into that in another video. But, we all come across obstacles, especially people that are trying to do something that's slightly abnormal or different, or, they're creating, they're trying to promote something that they themselves have created, or art, or a music, or whatever, that they're going to run into obstacles, and you have to learn how to adjust and adapt and ultimately make sacrifices to get the things that we want. I think it's a very important tool and a useful lesson, and I just wanted to share that with people. So I'm living me. Are you living you? Go ahead and subscribe and leave a like and a comment if you like the video. Have a great day.